Let's talk about making money, and for every legal way there is to make money, every straight way there is to make money, there's always going to be an illegal method or way behind the books under the table where you can kind of do the same thing and probably even make more money. Now, with that said, in this video, I'm going to talk about something that makes a lot of money, but for some reason, this is still legal, it's still legit, and you can go out there and you can still do this today. You can go out there and you can make a lot of money, and everything is above water, but every time I think about it, I keep asking myself, how is this stuff still legal? To me, this is like ripping people off, so that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. And guys, if you are new to the channel, my name is Ian, and on this channel, I talk about ways to make money, ways to save money, ways to invest your money. I talk about bank accounts, credit cards, and just about everything to do with personal finance. So if you like these videos and you like these types of topics, be sure to one, give this video a thumbs up. I'll really appreciate it. It's 100% free, won't cost you anything. Also, be sure to subscribe. That way you never miss any of the updates of when I post new videos on this channel. Now, this method of making money is something that you guys probably already know, but you probably never thought about it like this before. And in fact, you can make around 70% off what you invest or the assets that you have here. So if you have $100,000 tied up here, you could make around $70,000 off that 100K. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about the legal and the legit way to do this. And remember, although this is legal, this is still kind of in my mind a bit on that blurry line because it just feels like something that should be illegal. So the first thing I want to talk about here is the dealership, and stick with me because I'm actually going somewhere with this, right? Now, usually dealerships make a lot of money because for one, they'll finance a car for you, and secondly, they'll take your old car, trade it in, and that way they make some more money from that old car. So whenever you have, like, let's say a car or just about anything, any assets, and people want it, but they can't necessarily afford to purchase it, you can actually, or you have the opportunity to make a lot of money because you can provide financing for these people, and that way you can give them what they want and you can make a lot of profit by them actually not being able to afford it. Now, this makes no sense, but it makes money. Now, this actually works in the opposite way of what you would think. So if you come across someone with a good credit score and they have their finances together, they have a very good down payment, then you're not going to make any money from that deal. However, if you come across people who are not so fortunate, people who have very poor credit scores, they don't have the required down payment, they're probably living paycheck to paycheck, then that's where financing makes a lot of money, and this is why I tend to think that this should be illegal. Now, in the case of the car lot, you come across people who have a very poor credit score, they can barely afford the car, but yet they still want it, and so they're more inclined for some reason to sign a contract to pay even double what the car is worth and take on ridiculously high interest debt. Now, that's just the first part of making money here. A second part of making money here on this deal is that you're going to take their own car as a trade-in. You're going to give them far below what the car is actually worth in terms of the current market value, and then you're going to sell it for just the average market value of that car, and then you're going to make some more money on that side of the deal. Now, what makes this really interesting is that let's say you have a person that has a good credit score, they have good finances, they have a down payment. They bring their car and they can afford a newer car. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to lowball them and you're going to give them far below what they should receive for their old car in terms of the trade-in value. So you give them their new car, you give them a good loan or good loan terms, you send them off, and then you get paid for that part of the deal. Now, that doesn't make you that much money. Now, you take the old car that you just got and you sell that car for double the market value to someone who has a really poor credit score, and you give them a really bad loan or bad financing where they end up paying double for that car or double what it's actually worth. And because they're, kind of desperate and they know that they have a bad credit score and they know that their options are very limited, they're going to be happy signing up for that very bad deal. I mean, think about this, right? A lot of people, sadly, are never going to be able to purchase their own home, whether it's because of them not making enough money or them not planning for it or them just not being able to afford it. And so the biggest purchase that most people are going to make is their car. So let's actually look at the numbers, and you have someone with a bad credit score, you're going to give them a subprime loan, meaning that they're not going to purchase this car and pay 4 to 8% in interest, which is somewhat high. But instead, you're going to charge them like 25 to 35% in interest. So they're going to have this car payment, and in the initial stages, 70 or 80% of the total monthly payment will be interest. In fact, here's a simple example because I'm saying this stuff and maybe it doesn't make any sense and you're not getting it. So let's say I have a really bad credit score. My credit score is 400. Really low, right? And I don't have a down payment for a car, but the only thing I have going for me is a job. I just got a job, and so I have some income. So I'm going to go to the dealership and I'm going to say, listen, I don't have a good credit score. I have nothing. All I have is this job, but I want to know what you can do for me. And they're going to say, you know what? We're going to find you a really cheap car on the lot. Let's say they find you a car for $10,000. The car is probably only worth $5,000 or $6,000, but they're going to sell it for $10,000. Now you're going to agree to this because you don't have that many options. So you get this car for $10K. Now let's say this car dealership is really generous and so they decide not to charge you 35% in interest. Let's say they only charge you 25% in interest. You get a subprime loan, they do in-house financing, and they give you this car. Now they're going to trick you and tell you that, you know what, we're going to make your payments very low and very affordable, but we're going to give you 6 to 7 years to pay this car off, and they're going to tell you that there's no rush, and they may even offer you free servicing once or twice to get you to sign up for this very bad deal. So you sign up for this, and this means that you're going to pay around $293 per month for this car, and over those 5 or 6 years you're going to pay a total of $17,600, which means that you're going to pay roughly 76% in interest on this car that you bought for $10,000. So the dealer just made 76% from that asset because you had a bad credit score and you took a subprime loan, and they're also making money because that is a used car that they got for way below market value. They're also selling you for above market value. So if they're selling you this car for $10,000, they probably took it as a trade-in for $3,000, while the market value is probably around $5,000 or $6,000, and so they still make money that way. Now, the point here is that yes, this may be legal and above water, but you have people with bad credit scores, low incomes, they're struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, and when you look at the car market, for example, these are the people that are paying the most for cars. They have to pay the high interest, and they're the ones getting really ripped off. So in a sense, I think this should be illegal, but it is a way to make money, and it's a way to make a lot of money. So if you get into used car sales, especially financing and subprime loans, you can actually make a ton of money from people that have bad credit scores and are just really bad with their own personal finances. Now, this is not me telling you to go out there and do this and give people bad loans and rip them off if you think that this is ripping people off. I'm just telling you about these methods that I think are like borderline kind of blurry. They still make a lot of money, and maybe you've never thought about this before. Now that's the first way, and now the second way, and yes, there are multiple ways here. The second way is by purchasing that new car, because just because you have a good credit score and you have a down payment and you're getting a car loan with an interest rate of 4%, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're actually winning, because although financing that car may not cost you a lot, and some dealers will even go the extra mile and give you 0% APR, meaning they'll allow you to pay just the sticker price on the car and not really any interest once you have a good credit score. You're going to be losing roughly 10% once you drive off the lot, and then by the 5-year mark, when you're done paying for that car, you would have lost roughly 60% of the value. So you go out there and you purchase a new car for around $40,000, which is the average price of a new car right now. And by year 5, the car is only worth $25,000. And then when you take it back to that same dealer to trade it in, they'll want that car to sell to someone who has a really poor credit score and give them a subprime loan so that they can lowball them. And so they're going to lowball you and probably give you way below market value and probably give you like $12,000 in trading value for your car. So again, you're just completely losing, and you're definitely not winning the game here. So again, if I wanted to get into some business where I could make a lot of money, so much money that it seems illegal, but still keeping things legal and by the books, subprime loans, a car dealership, and people with poor finances, and really bad credit scores is a business that would make a lot of money. Now, this is completely legal, it's 100% legal, and that's why people can do it. But to me, it's kind of like that blurry line, because the people are getting these bad loans and getting somewhat ripped off, in my opinion. And these are people that couldn't afford it in the first place, but they get suckered into these bad deals and these bad contracts just because they don't really have that many options. So comment down below and let me know what you think about this business. Is this something that you've already been in, or is it something that you're going to be looking at getting into now, or do you think that this should also be illegal as well? Comment below and let me know. And with that said, if you guys ever want to talk to me, you can comment down below, or you can message me on Instagram. Link is down below in the description. Also, with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. All the best, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next one.